Hi everyone. I thought I'd show you my December pickups, and I'd show you some of the games that I've bought over the last month, as well as everything I got for Christmas. I'll leave the Christmas stuff till the end, and I will show you some things that aren't gaming related that I got, but I'll put them at the very end of the video, so that you don't have to sit through lots of stuff that you don't really care about if you're not interested, and you can just see the gaming related things. But we'll start off. First of all, a game I heard one of my friends, when I was talking to him on Skype, he was playing this game, and he sounded like he was having quite a lot of fun. And I played it when I was about 8 years old, and I never really liked it, but I was a PlayStation fanboy, and because it was on the Nintendo 64, the idea of it not being PlayStation kind of turned me off. But since I only ever got through the first level or so, I thought I'd better go back and give it a good chance, because it's supposedly one of the best platformers ever, and I'm sure you've all worked it out what it is, and it's Super Mario 64. I was quite happy to get this, because it usually goes for about £8 on eBay, and I phoned up a local retro store, and they said they were selling it for £15, which is just ridiculous, but this copy I managed to see going for £2 with £2 postage, with 0 bids on it. So I watched it, and I was the only person to bid on it, so I got it for £4. It took quite a while to get here, but it did eventually arrive. Unfortunately, the gap when I wanted to play it, I didn't have it, and when I finally had other things on the go, I didn't actually want to play it because I was playing other games. So I haven't played this too much, but I definitely want to give it another go now that I'm older and I can appreciate it more. Next up, I've been playing a lot of Metroid Fusion recently, and I decided that I like having, for games I complete, I like them to be complete themselves. So since I only had the cartridge of Metroid Fusion, I would get a boxed copy. And I can't remember exactly how much I paid for this, but I'll put an annotation, so you'll all see it now. Next up is a Japanese Sega Saturn game. I got the King of Fighters 95, and this is quite cool because in Japan they often have these boxed games for the fighting games. They got some quite good graphics on it, but I'll show you what's inside now. So other than the box itself, which is quite tatty, and it's got a few dents in the corners and things, but other than the box itself, it came with the game, which doesn't have a back cover, because obviously that's where you look for the back of the box. That's just the manual you can see there. This doesn't come with a spine card, because in Japan, while pretty much every game came with a spine card, if it was in a big box, they didn't give a spine card. But here's the manual, and it's a nice full colour manual. All the Japanese manuals had lots of colour in them that I've seen. Unfortunately, even though it does have a moves list, all of the names are in Japanese, so it won't be terribly much help for me. The disc, I recall, yeah, the disc's pretty much perfect condition. And other than the disc for the Sega Saturn, you needed to be able to play this. I think this is a 4 MB RAM expansion pack, and they are quite common to get them with Japanese games, but not so much for the English games. But yeah, that's King of Fighters 95. Next up is another Japanese Sega Saturn game, even. This is supposedly the best shooter on the Sega Saturn, except for, of course, Radiant Silvergun. But this is a game was highly recommended to me by other Sega Saturn fans, and that is Dodon Pachi. And I was quite excited to see this on eBay, because when I decided to check it out and see how much it was, there was this copy on there which said it was brand new and sealed for only £30. And I was ecstatic to see that, because that's the going rate for it unsealed. But unfortunately, when I got it, this isn't actually factory sealed. This is just a bag that the game shops put it in to protect it when it's second hand. Much like having one of those purple game seals isn't actually a factory sealed game, although this is much better for keeping your game in good condition. So it's not actually sealed. It does come with the spine card and the disc, and it looks like a pretty cool game. I'll have to give it a go. It's supposedly one of the original bullet hell shooters, but I've since spoken with the seller to tell him it wasn't sealed, and he's agreed to give me a partial refund of £5 on that. So it's worked out to be a good deal in the end anyway. And now I actually get to play it, because obviously before, if it was sealed, there was no way I was opening that. Next up is a deal I got from eBay, which is for a game that I had as a child and on the PlayStation, which was one of my favourite games that I've ever played actually. And I wanted to get it again because, yet again, as I was only about 8 years old, I wasn't really very good at it. So I wanted to play it properly and be able to experience more than just the first area. And that is Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. And as a child, I think I used to get through the factory area, and then I'd get to the outside area where there's like not garden, but there's an area outside. And because for some reason I decided that I was so used to the game being in the original area that I didn't like the second area because it wasn't the same, which is a little bit weird, but I never really got past that. I remember playing it again when I was about 12, and I managed to get to the area after that, but again I stopped playing then because it was just so different, because you were no longer in the escaping and trying to get past it. It just seemed too different for me, and I just stopped playing it. I can't remember how much this was, again I'll annotate, but it comes complete with the manual, and the disc is quite good. It's probably a 3 or a 4 out of 5. And I remember I always check out, whenever I buy a game, I check out what else the seller is selling, so that the postage can be discounted and then it can be a more worthwhile purchase. And I saw they were selling Point Blank on the PS1. I remember hearing that this is a good game, but I never played it, so I thought I'd pick it up. Although it does mean I need to get a G-Con 45, because I haven't got one of them, and it also means I need to play on a CRT television, so I'm not terribly sure how much playing I'll be getting out of this. But it's got the disc and the manual and the supplement, and I think this was £1 plus the postage, which was £1.50. And the guy, even though both these games had £1.50 postage each on them, and I said, "Will you discount the postage, please?" He agreed. He's just sent me the thing back saying that the postage was £3 for both of them, even though he agreed to discount. So I told him, well, this isn't a discount, that's the original price. But he said that was actually, when I got it through the post, he was right. He said that's actually what it will cost. It was like £2.70 something, and then obviously he's got to pay for the envelope, and he's got to actually package it. So that's why he charges that. Next up I have a PAL Sega Saturn game, Last Bronx. I have the Japanese version of this, but I've never played it because I have so many Japanese Sega Saturn fighting games. But it's complete with the manual and disc. And the disc for a Sega Saturn game is in quite good condition, but by real standards it's about a 3 out of 5. Not that really matters, because these games, because they're CD based, the data is so spread out. Like in a Blu-ray, a small area has such a massive amount of data, but on a CD, a deep scratch can often not affect gameplay in the slightest. So that should be fine for playing. I haven't managed to test it yet. Another game I did get, which was quite the good bargain, was Virtua Fighter 2, and this cost £8, and some of you who know about Sega Saturn games will know this is about a £1 or £2 game maybe at most. So the idea of paying £8 and it being a good deal is just ridiculous. However, if I take the protective sleeve off, then I can show you it is in fact sealed, and there is very there's very little shelfware. There's a small bit up there and a scratch there. That's just where the protective casing can't actually touch it. But yes, I got a sealed Sega Saturn game for £8, and I was quite happy to see that. It was a shame that Dodonpachi wasn't sealed, because then I could have put the two of them together and started my own little sealed Saturn collection. And that's all the games I picked up for the month. And now for what I got for Christmas. I only actually got one video game, and that was Nier on the Xbox 360 from one of my friends. And usually around Christmas time or each other's birthdays, or even just randomly throughout the year, we often buy each other gifts. For example, I got him Pranik, Can I Really Be the Hero, I think. I got him the Mega Man art book, and he got me Super Mario Galaxy 2 on launch day, and what else? He got me a few other things. We often trade gifts, and for Christmas this year he got me Nier, because I asked for it, and I'm getting him. I haven't actually got it from yet because my internet broke just before Christmas, which stopped me from being able to buy anything. But I'm getting him Chrono Trigger on DS, and he doesn't watch my videos because he says he can just see it in real life, so he won't see this. But I'm getting him Chrono Trigger on DS, and the prices on there at the moment are ridiculous. They're asking like £18 for a loose copy, when before Christmas I saw a boxed copy for £20. So I don't see why I would pay that much without the manual or box. Now I have some things which aren't technically video games, but I still think are interesting and are video game related. I have Sega Flash Volume 3, which I got in a trade with someone on a forum, and I got with it Dreamcast Magazine issue. It's the special issue 1999, I don't know which issue this is. Issue 2 and issue 9, as well as issue 26 with a bit of a rip in the front, which isn't that great, which is the same with issue 9 of Dreamcast Magazine. It has some ripping in the cover, which isn't the best, but I'm sure I'll get over it. I also got issue 28 and issue 30 and issue 34 and issue 37. I got all of those magazines in a trade, and I gave him Tilt on Saturn and Blam Machine Head, and that was a good trade. I was quite pleased with that because I only have like 3 Sega Saturn magazines, and it's quite interesting to read them. I also got given by that friend who got me near. He gave me a PlayStation cheats book, as well as a Cube Solutions, which it's just a magazine about how to complete different GameCube games. It's basically just reviews and walkthroughs mixed into one, which is quite good. He also gave me Advanced Magazine issue 6, and he also gave me 2 other smaller Advanced magazines. I don't know why they're smaller, they're just the later issues of it. And also 2 other things. He gave me a Station Solutions, which has something to do with Final Fantasy 4, 5 and 6. But I didn't know Final Fantasy 4 was released on PlayStation, so that's interesting. I'll have to look at that. And a Dreamcast Solutions magazine. Finally, on eBay, I got this GamePro issue from May 1992, which has a cover on Splatterhouse 2, which I actually have, which is the main reason I wanted this. And I got this on eBay from someone on a forum who was selling his things on eBay that he mentioned, and he said that he'd do a good price on the postage for anyone on the forum. And so I bought this, and this is the same guy I got Last Bronx and I think King of Fighters 95 from, and I got a good deal, I think. Now for the random bits and bobs that I got for Christmas. I got a PSP Protect and Clean, so it's a screen cover, a microfiber cloth and some spray. I got a helmet for my bike because I had a job in which I had to cycle on in the mornings and on the evenings to get there, on Saturday and Sunday nights and Sunday and Monday mornings. And my mum was quite worried that I didn't have a helmet, so she thought it was important that she got me one. She also got me some fingerless gloves, because I like having gloves where your fingers stick out, because then you can still use your fingers for fine motor tasks like getting coins or getting my keys out of my pockets, for example, to get in the door. And again, she got me this because my job, when I still had it, entailed being up early in the morning and late at night. In case you haven't been outside recently, it's been quite cold, so it was important to have these. And I used to use these gloves, these fingerless gloves, which are quite thin. They're definitely much thinner. You can see just by the thickness of them compared to the thickness of these how much thinner they are. But these don't cover as much, and when I was cycling my hands would basically freeze. So she got me them, which was nice of her. Next, I got given again by my mum. She gave me a universal AC adapter, which I'll just take out the box for you. And this is a bit of an unboxing because I haven't actually opened this yet because I haven't needed to use it so far. But inside, let's open it up. There it is. Let's see what we get in here. There's a carrying case, manual type thing, and then here it is encased in plastic to keep it in place, and there's some sellotape, so I'll just cut that. And this is what we call a trusty knife, because this is so small but you can keep it on you at all times, and there's a legal limit on the size of a knife you can have, and it also can't be a lock knife. I think it has to be below 3 inches, and this is about 2.5 inches, and it's not a lock knife, so I'm able to carry this around with me and use it as a tool, not for stabbing people or whatever people my age are supposed to do with knives. But that was a car boot sale pickup. That was. I think I got that for £2. So I do like that knife. And this comes with. I won't take them all out because otherwise I'll never be able to get them back. I'll never find them again. I'll be able to put them back in. But there's it says on the side actually. There's a UK adapter, a European adapter, American adapter, Australian adapter, and best of all, there's a cigarette lighter adapter. So while you're travelling, you can slide this in. And then there's a adjustable. The adapter's adjustable, and then you can plug that in. And then if you wanted to charge anything, I haven't got a cable on me to plug in to show you, but I think you can all get the point of it. You can plug in a cable and charge it, and often you'll find if you charge something via USB, like an iPod or something similar that needs a USB charger, and the mains adapter is ridiculously expensive for iPods. Then you can use this to charge 2 things at once, because that way you'll often find that if you're taking up one of your plugs for charging one thing, say you have a phone and an MP3 player, then you're going to take up your entire plug socket. But with this you can charge them both at once, which is quite good. I'm quite happy with this. Next up is from my brother, who he got me a Zippo Deluxe hand warmer. And he got me this because I've always been a fan of Zippo lighters, and I don't actually smoke or anything that would warrant a lighter, but I do like them because the Zippo lighters you can do some cool tricks with. So this works by you take the lid off, you light the catalytic burner after you've filled it up with lighter fluid, and you do so, you make sure you get the right amount by using special Zippo brand lighter fluid and pouring it into here. And if you fill it halfway, that's 6 hours of warmth. If you fill it the entire way, that will burn for 12 hours. And you fill it up. I won't light it for you because obviously you won't be able to tell the heat, and if I put it in then it will take quite a while to burn out. But you light it, then you put the lid on, and that heats the piece of metal here, and then you put it in the bag, because if you hold the actual metal with your hands you can get a low temperature burn, which you won't notice at the time, but then afterwards you'll start getting sore skin and blisters. So you definitely need to keep it in the bag, and you can't like stick it in your pocket. You have to move it around, like hold it and then switch hand and put it somewhere else, and because you don't want to burn yourself. But it's quite cool. I've never seen one before, and I was quite surprised when he got it for me. But something interesting is that because this is a catalytic burner, it's not a wick, so this doesn't actually catch fire, it just gets warm. And I believe there's not much, but there's some titanium in here. I'm not completely sure of the composition of this catalytic burner, but it's hot and doesn't burn itself, it just keeps heat there, and it burns the vapours of the fuel. But that's quite interesting. The only problem is though that, as you can see from the size of this compared to the fluid bottle, is that if you use 12 hours of this every day, then each pot would last you maybe 4 days, so this probably wouldn't last you an entire week. So that is a little bit annoying, but it's so fuel heavy. but at least it's not like one of those chemical ones you get where you snap the piece of metal and then it turns hard and it is hot, which the heat lasts for about 20 minutes, and then you need to boil it to get the heat to get it soft again, so that you can do the chemical reaction again. One of these, you can just, if you want more heat, then you just put more liquid in, and you can easily carry this around with you, whereas you can't carry boiling water around with you for the other thing. And for my aunt on Christmas, who I saw, she usually gives me £5 on any occasion, like a birthday or Christmas. But because she was with my granddad this year for our Christmas, and he gives us £50, she didn't want to be outdone, so she got us a £1 million note. And unfortunately, that's about as much use as it has, because now that I've said £1 million note and you've seen that it's not a real note, that's pretty much all you can do with it. She also got me a Man Walks Into a Bar joke book, which is very thick, but unfortunately the jokes aren't very good. Allow me to skip to one randomly to lighten up your day. 80% of married men cheat in America, the rest cheat in Europe. That's a quote from Jackie Mason. I'll give you another one. I'll try and get a regular knock-knock or something. Another joke is, I'm not an organ donor, but I once gave an old piano to the Salvation Army. So they have some funny ones in there, but I'll have to look through it. But since my aunt works in a charity shop, I have a feeling I know where she gets most of the presents that she gives from. My aunt also gave me a Millionaire's Starter Fund, which is keeping in with the £1 million note. Doesn't fit though. But the only thing that I was a bit disappointed at is that I've seen my friend had a £500 tin, where if you fill it with £1 coins, then by the time it's full you'll have £500 in there. But this, obviously, £1 million in pound coins would be quite a lot bigger than this. And since this doesn't give any interest, I have a feeling I'm just going to go with the bank instead. Even if the bank does have terrible interest rates, it's better than 0%. Finally, the last two things I got were from my mum's partner. And he got me, even though I don't drink at all, I don't like alcohol, mostly because of the taste. I just find that any drink that you say has a nice taste, I just think it would taste a lot better without the alcohol. He got me a crate of Stella Artois, and while I may not like this, my mum is a musician, and musicians love alcohol, so I'm sure she'll be able to find a place for this. And lastly, something that's quite cool is I was given because recently I've been playing a lot of computer games, specifically StarCraft, and the friends I play it with, I've had them over to my house so we can all sit and have what's known as a LAN party, where we all connect via cables and play each other at different games, such as StarCraft or Half-Life we've been playing as well. And in here is, as well as some cherry liqueur chocolates, which would probably taste nicer without the alcohol, is a bunch of Ethernet cables, but if I fish it out for you, in here is a switch box, so you can plug in lots of different Ethernet cables, and then each cable will have 100 megabytes per second of bandwidth each way, so we won't get any lag at all. And you can also plug in one of these into the internet, to the router, and then everyone will have internet. It does provide a faster connection for both local and online, so this is definitely a good gift to have, because this will be used sometimes when I have my LAN parties. So yes, thank you for watching. That's everything that I've got this month, and stay tuned for more videos in the coming days.